I'm Jared.
This is Keels.
All right, and this is the first episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. So it's a podcast talking about SpongeBob and our love for SpongeBob and how it relates to the world. As a little guide, throughout these episodes, we're going to be watching the episodes of SpongeBob simultaneously. And when we get into like how our first introduction was, you'll understand what kind of audience we are. So, Keels, I'll let you go first. So, what was your first introduction to SpongeBob?
Okay. I don't remember what day it is. I don't remember if it was like during the weekday or on Saturday. But I was just in my room watching Nickelodeon, and then it was the short Reef blower. It just I don't remember if there was any special announcement about it, but it just in my mind it just appeared out of nowhere. And then Reef blower. That's the episode where they don't speak and SpongeBob is trying to basically, what's it called, like leaf blow the shell off of the sand. So
That was your first introduction.
that was my first, yeah.
And you were just hooked right from there.
And I won't say I was hooked at first because I didn't know what it was.
It was just like Nickelodeon would do that back in the day, where they would have like a short of something just to kind of get you interested in an ongoing story. So, all right.
So, but I will say, like the first episode, like when the show came out officially, for sure I was hooked.
Nice.
For sure.
So I'll be honest, mine's a little different. I got into SpongeBob same year. It was '99, and I think what was that? Second grade, first or second grade. It was somewhere in that ballpark range.
Wow, you're super young.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. I didn't find out about SpongeBob until after the first season was like almost done, and I looked up the airing order too just to confirm this. Yeah, that seems about right because I was a Disney Channel kid.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was double dipping I was cheating on Nickelodeon with Disney. I was like, ooh.
I mean, I was doing the same thing, but with Cartoon Network.
With Cartoon Network, yeah. So when I think I was at school and it was just like somebody made like a reference to SpongeBob. And at the time, I got out of Nickelodeon because I think Rugrats, like just they had that little gap and everything.
Yeah, what's her name was starting to get low-key stale.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold. Angry Beavers. Cat Dog was kind of like, okay, we need something new. So yeah, it was that time. I was like, oh, what's this?
Right, and that's how it was. So I think my first introduction, Fun, came out. So I heard the F is for friends who do stuff like it. And I'm just like, what is this catchy tune? So, and then, the character of SpongeBob, I knew he was out there. And yeah, basically from that moment on, I caught up with the first season. By the time season 2 came in, I was like a pro.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, so we started off watching the first episode of SpongeBob, which is Help Wanted, Reef Blower, as Keels mentioned, and He at the Treedome.
Classic.
Yep.
Oh man, such a classic. Yeah.
So let me just pull up the notes. All right. Okay. So the episode format is going to be, we're going to talk about our favorite joke of the episode, what would you change, and meme-worthy moment. And as a brief synopsis, the first episode, SpongeBob gets his job at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
Very short and simple.
Yeah.
Reef Blower, it's a silent episode, and that mainly is because I think the ongoing story is that they didn't have enough time. They had to produce an episode, so they just did it silent without any voices. And then Tea at the Treedome is the first time that you meet Sandy. And also finds out that sea creatures need ice cold water. All right. So what do you have? What notes did you pick up from this episode?
All right. I guess we can start with favorite joke.
All right.
Start with favorite joke.
Favorite joke, hands down, Tea at the Treedome when Patrick is coughing. I will hit you, bro. What kind of place is this? Yo,
like the way he was coughing, we thought he was about to get on out of there, man.
I've seen that on TikTok so many times.
Exactly.
Use it.
Exactly
like,
right.
He went from walking, the frame of him walking to getting down on his knees and just dropping SpongeBob. He said, like, yo.
Bro, there's so many good jokes in Tea at the Treedome. Like
Yep.
that's why I think like SpongeBob was just like an instant classic.
Right off the bat.
Because when I saw Tea at the Treedome, it was so hilarious.
Exact. There was nothing like it at the time.
Man,
So what's your favorite joke?
got so many. So I chose uh, SpongeBob is realizing that it's super hot in the tree dome,
Okay.
and then he's trying to tough it out, but he just can't do it. So he's like, I bought you flowers.
Oh,
So Sandy takes the flowers and comes back and puts them in a vase full of water, right? And so the way she describes the water while SpongeBob is like crusty, dehydrated, his pinky done fell off. She's like, thanks for the flowers, SpongeBob. They'll live longer if you put them in some ice cold water.
like
And the ice cubes are like clinking.
they're moving. The condensation on the base is dripping.
Right. They're like, that water looked good.
Perfect.
And then, he couldn't take it anymore. SpongeBob couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
That's my favorite joke.
All right. And a couple of like side notes from that episode too, because I know like there's like this ongoing thing in SpongeBob, and we're gonna get into it, but like that's the first time he meets Sandy. And it's already I always thought this as a kid, and it confused me by the third season. Like SpongeBob had a crush on Sandy. It is cemented. Like
Yeah.
he brought her flowers.
Yeah, he was trying to do stuff to impress her.
Yeah, that's another thing too. With the muscles, I remember the inflatable muscle episode.
Right, he was trying to impress Sandy.
And
Exactly.
every time Larry got in there, his face. Look at SpongeBob's face.
The karate episode.
Yep, another one.
Yeah.
The ripped pants, same thing.
Ripped pants.
Over here playing with Larry. He freaked. Listen, look at SpongeBob's reaction when Larry comes in. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
That's a joke right there. Like, dang. And then, but they dropped that whole subplot.
Yeah.
Season 2 onward, they're like, never mind. They're not going to be anything. I'm like, okay. I guess another thing I'll also say before we get into what we will change, because it is kind of backtracking.
Yeah.
But it will lead into the what we will change. So definitely in the first episode, Help Wanted, Gary looks terrible. He's not even blinking. They said, no, we can just move his lips.
Right. They were just like, okay, that's it for him.
Yep. That's another thing too. His bed's on the opposite side. So there's like little Easter egg things.
Yeah.
And I feel like the test song when he's like cooking up the for the anchovies, for sure, like, was that like a rejected SpongeBob song where it's just like, they were just giggles, like, here you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then we'll get into the what we will change. So then going into Reef Blower, your first introduction episode, it was the silent episode.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would change, there's one bit of not really dialogue, but it's a subtitle where SpongeBob says you. And I feel like it's a minor change, but I feel like in order to make it truly a silent episode, don't even have that. Like, you could just do an angry look or something like that, or just like he can have him pointing like the evil monkey from Family Guy, something. But make it a true silent one. So what's your change?
What I would change is, so at Tea at the Treedome, I would change, I would add like, why is Sandy in Bikini Bottom?
Yeah.
Like,
no explanation.
There is no explanation, right? SpongeBob is like, what did he pull out some like dictionary or something like that?
Land squirrel.
Right. It's just like, okay, well, what is she doing here? Like, so they never explained that.
I think in later seasons, any fans can comment if, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that I think that's one of the reasons why they gave Sandy like a science background, because like
make it make sense.
Right. Like but this was like she didn't get into science, I think, until literally the third, fourth season, somewhere later on down the line. Because there were some episodes like the rocket where it's like, oh, she's building a whole rocket.
Mm-hmm. So Sandy's a squirrel that can talk and walk and know science and stuff. Then what is like above
Bikini Bottom?
Like, what is that like? What is Earth like up there if it's
It's,
talking squirrels and stuff?
I mean, oh, you know what? Because
You
it's
know,
an animal. Well, maybe it's like
right?
they speak their own animal language or something. Like, I don't know. Because you would assume that other animals talk with other animals, but when they interact with humans, like, but then again, take the SpongeBob movie when David Hasselhoff is there, and it's just like they're
Right.
talking to him like
It's
nothing.
like, yo, what is this? Right.
That is, you know what? That's one that is going to make a good episode.
We'll have to dive
Yeah,
into that later.
for sure. Stay tuned, guys. All right, and then meme worthy moment.
Yeah, so meme worthy moment. This is the part of the episode where it's like, what is a moment in the episode that is that transcends the episode, I guess, and you'll see it on different
Instagram,
commercials.
TikTok.
You'll see it on social
Right,
media.
it's everywhere.
People know the quote. Um, like you said, when you were at work and you quoted,
Oh yeah, I worked at a retail chain for a couple years, and basically there was a customer that was the couple customers that were waiting in line, and I was helping one of the managers with the register, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on," and I said, "Oh, hold on, I know what the problem is. You got it set to M for mini when it should be set to W for Wumbo," and legit, like the one customer in line said, "I can't." He just, and I'm like, he got the reference.
Right. So that's definitely a meme worthy moment.
Yeah. You
So,
gotta
yeah.
set the M for mini when it should be
Wumbo,
set to W.
morphology, all that
The
stuff.
study of Wumbo, it's first grade, SpongeBob. Like he was confident.
All right. So yeah, that's that's what a meme worthy moment is.
Yes.
And so for this episode, we definitely agreed that it was the moment where SpongeBob is trying to convince himself that he doesn't need the water from the water base, and then he's just like basically about to die. He's just like that little drop of water just
Yeah. I don't need it.
right. Like I definitely don't need it.
A close up on his eyes.
Yeah, and they're all like black.
Breaks character.
Right. So he just right. That's the meme worthy moment of the episode. I need it.
100%.
Um, man, see, when in doubt, pick me out is another one for me.
That was your backup one.
Because that hit personally for me.
All right, why does it hit personal?
Because I think it's just like a cool phrase to say, man. When I was in school, that's what I was saying. You know what I mean? I was saying that all the time, and then people understood what I was trying to say, and then everybody else started to say it, and then I don't. It's just a cool thing at the end of the day. When in doubt, pinky out.
I feel like Patrick is the true MVP, but you definitely get like little hints. Like Patrick's like there, but like you saw him like chilling in the first episode on top of the thing, sunbathing with his sunglasses and everything.
He
like,
looked cool.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
looked cool.
He was a real friend, but then you get later on, he's like,
Yeah,
you are the worst.
That's something that you noticed too that we'll have to talk about. But yeah, that's the meme worthy moment, man.
So I did want to mention this. We're gonna have this hot take on it.
Okay,
So we watched the first episode of SpongeBob. Now, obviously, groundbreaking, did an impact. And for anybody who didn't know, it aired right after the Kids' Choice Awards. And I was looking at the airing date, my tinfoil hat theory, because the bulk of season one aired in the summer. You had a lot of kids that were like watching SpongeBob in the summer because that was the thing in the day. You went outside to play, you come inside, you watch TV.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why SpongeBob was a hit right off the bat.
Like I said, man, Tea at the Treedome. Well, that was an instant classic.
Yep. But here's the real question, though.
Back to back classic
Yeah.
episodes.
Because
Man,
right after this was Bubble Stand, Rip Pants, then you had, like, it was just literally hit
the
after
fun
hit.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, SpongeBob legit was the rare Nickelodeon show where like there was I can't think of like one episode in that first season where it's like there's not a quotable line, there's not something like, and it's gonna be tough to narrow down best joke, best meme moving forward.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be funny.
But one thing I will say is, we're in this age where, AI and everything's taking over, things like that. One question I did want to bring up that it would make a nice debate to parallel the first episode,
Yeah.
there is going to come this time when Tom Kenny will no longer voice the character.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be interesting whether it's like he retires from the character or he passes away, what the future is going to be on that last episode of SpongeBob. So paralleling from the first episode to the last. So I wrote this down. Is it going to be an imitation voice? Like, I'm going to give you the options. You ready?
Okay.
So is it going to be an imitation voice? So like a lot of cartoons like the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, throughout history that have been around for decades do this, where they get somebody that's similar to the character.
Yeah, but you can always tell the difference.
It's not the same exactly. Do you think it's going to be that? Do you think they're going to retire the character in general because it's SpongeBob? It's like, will they retire the character? Like, I don't know, Patrick Show will take over and it's like,
They gotta end the show.
I don't know.
They have to end the show.
I'm gonna give. Well, you got to choose one of them. What do you think it's going to be? Or because we're in this age of AI, do you think that they're just going to take Tom Kenny's voice and just essentially just AI it up?
I think, oh man, there is going to be a possibility that they do that. See, but I would just hope that just as long as they still pay Tom Kenny
Right.
their money, you know what I mean? Because
Like his estate and everything.
then if you're doing AI, you could just keep pumping out episodes forever. Then,
well, it's crazy because you're the one who showed me the video
rap songs and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at how many videos like where they take characters from SpongeBob and they make them sing songs, they make them curse, they make them do full episodes, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it sounds like a legit episode.
It does. I mean, yeah, especially when they're singing and stuff, they sound like the characters.
Right. So what are you leaning towards? What do you think they're gonna do?
Honestly, I do, and this is what the whole strike is about, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing also. So with the strike that's going on right now, the Actors Guild, I think they went on strike. I know the writers went on strike back in May. The actors were July. And essentially nobody in Hollywood right now is working. So there's no content being written and the actors can't work right now.
Yeah, honestly, I think that well, I guess I don't know, the executives or whoever runs Hollywood or whatever, they're just gonna shift things to go to AI, and then that's gonna bleed down to all the shows.
Interesting.
Because it's just like if SpongeBob is still on and we're full on 30-year-olds, 30-something-year-olds, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's still making money, then why not just keep doing it?
Exactly. And just so you guys know, like,
you might as well run it to the ground at that point.
Right. So when Keels and I are around the same age. When SpongeBob came out, it was legit brand new to us, and we were at that perfect age. Like, I'm gonna say, what were you? First, second grade, something like that, or third?
No,
a little bit older.
Like maybe
third grade. Okay, but still a kid. You are a kid, that you are the target demographic. So it's interesting to look back that, like, wow, it's legit been like over 20 years that SpongeBob's been out.
Man,
right? And
new episodes and everything. I haven't
still
seen
going.
Like, at least the last 15 years, possibly
15. And we're going to get into it. So another point of this podcast is we're going to be breaking our SpongeBob season 5, essentially, where it's like we're going to watch these episodes in the mindset
of a millennial, what is it, millennial
like mindset,
millennial mindset SpongeBob fan.
Right. Because the ongoing joke is like seasons 1 through 3. Basically anything
We're the
before the
best.
movie, yeah.
We're the best.
But it's going to be interesting. There's a couple of episodes where they've been on, like, I had them on in the background for my daughter, and there's one song in particular, the musical doodle like song. I'm just like, this is a catchy song, and it was a good episode.
And I have no idea what that is.
It's going to be interesting.
Not the slightest clue.
And I guess, and narrowing back to the question now, so you're saying AI. That's what's going to be the future after Tom Kenny.
Because it's just like, it's already here.
All right.
It's already here. Like,
yeah. See,
I showed you those.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Those videos. They sound just like the character singing the song.
I'm leaning towards. I feel like AI could possibly do it, but this might be a stretch. I'm leaning towards more of like an imitation, and I say this because of history. So we were talking before. The Simpsons is a good example. Whenever a character passes away on The Simpsons, the voice actor, they retire the character entirely.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, but then it's the question like, well, what happens when one of the Simpsons people, are they going to just end the show or something? And I feel like at that point, similar to the Flintstones, similar to the Jetsons, similar to like Scooby-Doo, all of these shows that have gone generations upon generations, I feel like they will get somebody that it imitates the voice. SpongeBob is too big of a character for them to just retire the character. And AI can definitely get to a point to where they're able to.
That's not right, though. Do you think it's right? I know business is business, but goodness gracious.
What, to have another voice actor?
No, I mean...
Oh, AI?
AI.
Morally, it's not correct. I feel like, especially unless Tom Kenny himself makes a statement and his estate makes a statement, and like everybody, his family members, they have to be on board.
Oh, yeah, I got to get paid for that.
Right. They will get paid. Exactly. Yeah. But SpongeBob in general is like, in pop culture, I feel like from a worldwide perspective, everybody knows who he is. Every kid knows, like, you know,
over the world.
Right. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know, but I'm going to be opposite. I'm going to lean towards, I think they're going to probably find somebody who sounds like him and then continue it. I feel like AI is such a hot topic right now. I can't give the win to that yet, but I will say this. I see it, though.
If they do another voice actor, it's over with.
Really?
I think it's over with.
We'll see how it does. I feel like, wasn't there a...
Bro, name another show, another show that went on for 20 years.
Right after the voice actor?
You know what I mean?
I got two.
Say, like, you know, the voice actor passes away or something, and then they just keep
going?
Yeah.
I got two popular characters. So the first is Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse, look, Walt Disney did his voice at first, and look, they have an imitator. He's still pumping out things. Mickey Mouse is a worldwide character, but here's another one.
When did he start talking?
It was definitely after Steamboat Willie. So I don't like Walt Disney was voicing the character for sure in the 40s, 50s, but he passed away, I think, in 67. I think it was like the late 60s. And look, imitation voice. But here's one.
People do not care what Mickey sounds like.
You're not wrong, but here's something where people do. There's more fans that take things to heart. Yeah. Kermit the Frog. Now, Kermit was voiced by Jim Henson when he passed away. Yeah. When he passed away in 1990. Think about how, you know, and they've had one voice actor since then. I think he was in a controversy recently, but same thing. Mm-hmm. The Muppets are so popular that it's like, but think about that. He sounds just like them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like they're going to go the imitation route. That's just my 2 cents. I think so only because we're not at a point in AI where it's going to feel, they can do it.
Yeah.
But are people going to be on board, and will his estate be on board? And that's the thing. I don't know.
If it were to happen now, definitely not.
Yeah, no. All right. So, yeah,
Do we have any last thoughts or anything?
the only thing I'll say is I'm very excited to go on this journey
Yes.
because we both share a love of SpongeBob to the point that in our friendship we have quoted things from it. And I also feel like from a generational standpoint, like we live in a day and age where people are so like different in their ways, like whether it's political, religious, things like. But SpongeBob, I feel like I know it sounds like I don't mean to sound cheesy.
Honestly, go ahead. I know what you're about to say.
But I mean, I've talked to people who have not seen eye to eye to me on like certain things, but SpongeBob, we mesh with. Like it's just like okay. I feel like it's that universal thing where it doesn't matter your background, race, religion. You can find a love of SpongeBob, and it's going to be interesting to, you know, communicate to that audience where it's like we have a common ground.
Right.
So that's one.
Yeah, honestly, when you talk to somebody from the '90s, like the best question to ask them, what was your favorite cartoons growing up?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's what you can ask us. You know. But yeah, man, SpongeBob is definitely like very important to the world and very impactful. And like you said, the quotes. Shoot, the quotes never stop, man.
I'm telling you.
I love it. Man, SpongeBob, man, they did their thing. Those first 4 seasons, they did their thing.
You know, and I'm telling you, and that's the thing. Like when we get beyond the fourth season, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I wonder, like, what am I going to like? What am I going to pick up?
Right.
Is it going to be the same quotables as like the first four?
Things.
You know what I mean? Like,
there might be some. I saw recently. I was just on YouTube and in my suggested things, and apparently in a recent episode, you know, the episode "Dying for Pie," where SpongeBob has the list of things he's doing with Squidward.
yeah.
So there's apparently one episode in the most recent seasons. I don't know if it was like the one last year or the year before, where they legit are redoing that thing, like the dying for pie thing. So like the kids throw the rock with him in the suit. He does the bubble stand thing where he's like blowing the bubble because SpongeBob like lost his memory. It seemed like.
Okay.
So he's like reliving these iconic SpongeBob episodes, and I'm like, wow.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like I know I'm not gonna like hate every episode.
Right. Like I feel like it's
I'm interested. I'm like, you know, what's the point?
I'm looking, I'm excited for that. The continuity and like callbacks to certain episodes. That's what I'm looking forward to in that post thing.
Yeah.
So stick with us. We got a long journey ahead of so far as of August 2023, 13 seasons and more to come. All right, so this has been Jared.
This is Kill.
All right, Bikini Bottom Banter.
Yeah, let's go.
First episode done.
Thanks for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. Don't forget to follow Bikini Bottom Banter on TikTok and Instagram for even more content. Subscribe to them on YouTube and Anchor, plus turn on bell notifications to be updated on their latest episode. And if you've got your own jellyfishing stories or favorite SpongeBob moments, remember to share them with us. You might just hear them on our next episode. So until then, stay bubbly, keep smiling, and remember, subscribe to Bikini Bottom Banter to know all the under the sea.